Page 50, I Want to Hold Your Hand is another Beatles piece. 4/4 time. We're in C major still. We have some accidentals though, so there'll be a few black keys involved. We're coming in on beat 4 in the right hand. Let's take it and check it one hand at a time. Make sure we have the fingering and the notes and all that and the rhythm. So you're going to start with the right hand on 5 here. That puts your hand here to start. So we're coming in on beat 4. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. And during the rest, you can come down here. They say 1 and 3. I'm going to encourage you to use 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3. Because in measure 4, I would like you to play the B in the bottom staff. See, you have a G, an E, G, B chord. I'd like you to play the B with the right hand. It's melody. So again, starting measure 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. Then you let up on it when the left hand plays the 8th note. And then come back up, do it again, 2 and 3 and 4 and measure 7 in the thumb, 1 and 2 and 3 and reach up to the octave here and then you have a rest that you can come down, 1 and 2. Now in measure 10, it's here and cross over 3. If you're doing the C major scale, this is part of that scale. It should just come to you. If you haven't been doing the scale, this kind of thing you struggle with. But measure 10 is just 2, 1. And then reach up, octave, 1, and then reach down and cross over. Then during, that's what the crossover is for. You cross over the thumb. They just stuck that in there. That doesn't really belong there. Just telling you to cross over your thumb. Rest, then 5th finger, and you do it again like we've done before. But on measure 15, again, instead of 1, 3, I'm going to ask you to use 2 and 4. So you can play the B in measure 16 with the right hand. Like we did in measure 4, same thing. And that's pretty much this piece for the right hand. Left hand, you're starting here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then. Now, I'm going to suggest for the left hand, go ahead and use thumb on the whole note. The reason is because in the next measure, the way they do it, you need thumb for the B, but I'm using the right hand for that, so I don't need it. So I can go ahead and just use 2 and 4 and just stay there for measure 4. So to start with the last 2 measures of the first line, the half note, you're here, 1 and 2 and 3, thumb, 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Now measure 7, you can go ahead and use 2nd finger, because now we are going to play the whole chord in the next measure in the left hand. 1 and 2. That's hard just to come up here. There are other fingerings we could use, but this is fine. We'll just do that. And then here. And the measure 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's the left hand for the most part. Put them together. Now, when I put the hands together at first, I don't worry about hesitating. I don't worry about rhythm too much. I'm just trying to get the notes to go down and which fingers are playing in which hand at the same time. So we're here, here, and then here, and then here, here. Right when I play that last G, that right hand comes up. To do that. I want that here because it's melody. So it's 1 and 2. watch out here. Measure 10. I gotta get off of the C because the left hand needs it. Here. So you have to cut that half note C just a little bit short. And when I play the half note there on the last measure on page 50, the right hand comes up. And hold that down as you play that, and then go again. You get the rest of it. And once you can sort of get the hands to play together, then go back through it a few hundred times or whatever and get rid of the hesitation so it is a steady beat all the way through. It's okay to go slow still, that's fine. We can speed it up later, but it has to be a steady beat with no hesitations anywhere. Then we think about the articulation, which they don't give you much. You're connecting everything pretty much. You can't connect repeated notes, but that's okay. Connect that. You get down to the bottom of page 50. The last couple measures, you're here. Staccato. Here, it's here, and then here. And hold that down as you do that. At the end of bottom page 51, the last measure here, same thing, staccato on the 4 chord, and then a 1. And the fermata, you just hold that out to whenever, what feels right. If I do this with a metronome, I just hold the quarter note 2 counts instead of 1. To stay with the metronome. As far as the dynamics go, it goes to the melody, and that's the right hand for the most part. Whatever you think, MF, mezzo forte, moderately loud, sort of loud, not loud, just sort of loud. Keep this left hand soft. And this is why I asked you to play a measure 4 and a measure 16. I asked you to play the top note of the chord in the right hand. This is why. That note is melody and needs to be brought out. You need to play it louder. It's tricky and it's more advanced to try and play a chord like that in one hand and play one note louder. That's hard. It really, and get them down at the same time. That takes practice. I've had a lot of practice at it. Yeah, I ought to be able to do it with any note in a chord eventually. But right now, you're probably a bit struggling just trying to play one hand louder than the other. So here, we just play the right hand louder than the left. And it comes across. So measure 3. See, I want to hear that note. And that's why I asked you to do that. Now, measure 8, there's a crescendo, you're going to go up to loud. There's not a lot of difference between sort of loud and loud. You just go up a little bit. Here, the left hand's soft. You can take the left hand up to sort of loud. So it's soft, sort of loud. And the right hand's loud. The F applies to the melody. So you just... Here in the left hand, it's sort of soft to soft. I mean, the right hand dies away on its own. It's just on these 2 chords, make the second chord softer is all. And then you're back to your moderately loud like you were at the beginning. That's sort of the dynamics. You get some more stuff in 51. Page 51 is almost the same as page 50. As far as the speed goes, I'm sure you've heard recordings of this that most everybody has. It's all over the place. It's a happy song. But it has to be a steady beat now, no hesitations anywhere. You're happy, not my happy. No. On measures 8 and 20, they've added pedal to build it up a little bit, help with the crescendo. You don't need pedal with it. You can play the whole thing just fine without. If you're going to add the pedal, push the pedal down right after you play the E, and leave it down and lift it up right after you play the F chord in the next measure. So it's here. Here. And that's all it does. And those two spots are identical. I'm not going to show the pedal in the video because that's all it is. And as I said, you don't need pedal. I mean, you could have some fun with the articulation and maybe put in staccatos if you wanted to. Here, I mean, there's different ways of interpreting it. They didn't say anything. Try it different ways and experiment. So I'll leave the pedaling up to you and your teacher, or if you pedal or not, or how you pedal that. I would not pedal anywhere else. It's got to be clean, and we don't want it smeary. I'd like to play with you very slowly to double check all the notes and rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics, and I'm not going to pedal it because you can pedal that part. I'm going to give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. And if you have to, if you're struggling, just do it one hand at a time with me for a while. 1 and ready and go, and 4 and 1.